their jobs.
Father, we come to you in this hour asking for your blessings and help as we are gathered together. We pray for guidance in matters at hand and ask that you would clearly show us how to conduct our work with a spirit of joy and enthusiasm. Give us a desire to find ways to excel in our work. Amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Welcome, everyone. Roll call, Melanie, when you're ready.
Mrs. Lingo?
Here.
Mrs. Moody? Here. Mr. Parsons?
Here.
Miss Peterson?
Here.
Mr. Redding?
Here.
Mrs. Dosa?
Here.
Mr. George?
Here.
Okay, everyone is present and accounted for. You have before you the minutes from the November 17th meeting. Does anybody see any corrections or anything, misspellings that need to be taken care of?
They don't have listed, I believe Keisha Dosa arrived and was present for the meeting at one point. And we have, being present under roll call, her name's not listed, but at some point she did come in.
Was it 7:10, wasn't it?
I'm not sure.
Didn't we see that listed?
It wasn't late.
Yeah, it was.
I mean, it wasn't, terribly late.
So how do you want to correct that?
I don't know, how do you usually
I know
correct
I
that?
have the notes on it when she came in. So I'll just add it, that she arrived.
Okay, and was present, and we'll put
Yes.
that in after roll call then?
Yes.
Okay.
I will add that.
Okay, any others?
Go ahead, if you got it. You got it?
Yeah, down under guests and special events, the fourth bullet point, I'm not sure what that parentheses, online or paper-based. Online,
Should be a parentheses.
Yeah.
and then
it
a
should
closed
be.
parenthesis.
Yes.
Online or paper-based.
Yes.
And just one other one on third page. The last ordinance, I think it was Mr. Redding rather than Mrs. Redding that seconded, or made the motion.
But I think she told him to.
She did.
She was watching it. She called me. Second that motion.
Anybody else?
Yes. Me?
Yes, Ms. Lingo.
Whoa. Under the mayor's report, the second paragraph, second line, it's just read funny, speaking with the owner, and should it be spoke with the owner? Or in speaking with, you know what I mean, just a.
Yeah.
Say it.
You could put in speaking with the owner and then take out and, comma, they have a way to do the drive-through, in speaking with the
Yeah,
owner.
in speaking.
Take out and.
Is that how you want to fix it?
Take out and.
Just take out in. And
Take
then,
out and put a comma in.
And then a period at the end of the last sentence.
Did they apply for, I guess while we're on that subject, an exception to the drive-through?
Bill's going to talk about that.
Okay.
and then
sorry.
right below there, Mr. Coker would like to let them know that the drive-through zoning does not allow in core, or should it say like zoning is not allowed in core business district. That's it.
Change it to what? It does not,
That's the way it reads funny. Drive-through zoning, it says drive-through zoning does not allow. Shouldn't it say is not allowed in core business district?
Not really, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Is not permitted.
Or whatever,
Yeah.
yeah.
Drive-throughs are not permitted in the core business district.
Okay, is not permitted.
That's it.
Any others?
It's missing two periods at the end of the sentences, but under mayor's report, that last sentence, and then the one before it. That's about it.
What? What?
I can't hear
We
you.
can't
I
hear
can't
you.
hear you.
The last sentence, it said you're just missing two periods. They're end of a statement, so it needs a period at the end of that, at the end of the pop-up COVID-19 testing. That sentence, it needs a period, and the one above it. That is something they can start looking into now to start the process, period.
Okay.
What are we doing? Putting a period at the end of library?
Yeah, I got it.
While we're doing that, one other,
Mr.
go
Redding? No, one more?
ahead, if you got it. You
Wasn't
might
quick
have-
enough, Ross.
Okay.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
It may be the same one, I don't know. Under city manager's report, the one I'll forget about. 1, 2, 3, fourth paragraph down, council members have decided to have, either take out A or to have time count and stop sign studies. So take out the A.
Yeah. I should put in this package and work.
Anybody else?
I never find anything.
Mr. Redding?
I make a motion to accept the minutes as amended.
Mr. Redding has made a motion to adopt as amended.
I'll second.
Mr. Parsons has seconded. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. Correspondence. I have been given a letter, and I'm going to, I was told I did not have to read the whole thing, but I'm going to. This is from Jim Neal, the sheriff, to Dear Mayor Wolf. As I take the time to write this letter, complimenting I can't read the word. Contemplating what I should say, it occurs to me to simply speak that which is in my heart to our law enforcement community that has, without doubt, displayed the kind of support we have come to expect and appreciate. As Sheriff of Hamilton County, I'm very honored to have this opportunity to let you know that actions of kind expression of your law enforcement agency were not unnoticed by me or the men and women of the Sheriff's Office. On October 31st, the Sheriff's Office requested assistance from the Mount Holly Police Department under the mutual aid agreement to assist with the funeral procession of a Corporal Adam McMillan. Without hesitation, Chief DeMasi provided personnel to man post along the procession route to allow all sheriff's deputies to attend the funeral service. The manner in which your agency supported not only the family of Corporal Adam McMillan, but the men and women of the Sheriff's Office is sincerely appreciated. There's no better way to express the gratitude I have for the Mount Holly Police Department except to say a very sincere and appreciative thank you. On behalf of the men and women of Hamilton County Sheriff's Office, I would like to commend Chief Vincent DeMasi and the men and women of the Mount Holly Police Department for assisting us in this time of need. It gives us great pride to express how grateful and appreciative we are to serve alongside the men and women of the Mount Holly Police Department. Sincerely, Jim Neal, Sheriff.
That's nice.
So a very nice letter. It's good to get good things. Does anybody else have any other correspondence? Okay, guest special events. Public input. Anything there, sir?
No.
As always, we will keep open and interrupt back in if somebody comes in. Mayor's report, Mr. Wolf.
Yeah, only one thing. Pastor Jody Keith from Trinity Lutheran reached out to me and some other community leaders. Trinity is going to have COVID testing. They're going to be hosting as a site on this Friday and next Friday. So Friday, December 4th and 11th from 1 to 4 p.m. at Trinity Lutheran Church, entrance on the Hickman side. And that is my only report.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Mayor. Mr. Coker, City Manager's report.
Thanks. Just a couple things, just to touch on what you had mentioned. I'm working with the law director to get some language for legislation to address the whole drive-through request of the coffee shop and funding that we were able to secure for them. And essentially what like we discussed this before, we're not having BZA hearings or anything, but what council could do and what other communities have done is during this pandemic, sometimes you have to act, right, to help businesses and keep things going. And that's what this would do. It wouldn't make them or any other entity that came up and requested that specific, because the ordinance would be specific for drive-throughs. They would eventually have to get in front of the BZA, but it would allow them because of the pandemic and the crisis, it would allow that to happen to make sure that they can stay into business. Once things get back to normal, then they can go in front of the BZA. So he's going to be working on that legislation, probably something that we'll have at our next meeting. So that's kind of the next step with that. I spoke with the owner down there, and they're going to get a plan together as to exactly what they want to do, and then we'll help them get approval through the county for the funds once that's done. So just an update on that. I did find out interesting, and we've been talking about this, the Hamilton Avenue project to great length. There's actually going to be a Zoom call on next Wednesday, and North College Hill is doing Hamilton Avenue at the same time. I mean, the project is going to sell on the same date. So Hamilton Avenue is going to be done from their corporate limit to all the way through ours. I'll find out more detail at our Zoom call on the 9th, but I guess it's probably best to get it all done at one time, and it will be a nice improvement all the way through. But that's the first I had heard of that. Then the other only kind of main thing in the that was on your desk and was in your packet, Ray got it there on Wednesday, was the bid from the consortium, that the group bid we did for waste. There were 4 companies that picked up the bid specs, but only one, that being Rumpke, submitted a proposal or a bid on it. Ray did a lot of work on this, tried to look at different things, different alternatives. There's a couple things in here. We don't have to decide, obviously, anything on this tonight, but just some things to think about. Obviously, anything additional you want to do will cost money. But there is a quote in here for them to provide a 96-gallon waste toter to every resident, which that would cost $1 more per month, and it's there in the bid. If a resident currently does that, and I don't know the numbers because they do that directly with Rumpke right now, and a lot of people do that. I know Ray refers them to them, and that's really an agreement between the property owner and Rumpke. That cost is $2.50. So, I know there's one of the reasons behind this. Ray gets a lot of calls, and I know Melanie can vouch on this too, of a lot of calls about complaints about garbage blowing around, people, animals getting in the garbage, blowing up and down the street, things like that. A lot of times people don't put it in garbage cans. It's just a thought. What would that cost be? What is it? I know for some people they're going to be like, 96 gallons, I'll never put that out in a month, But it'd be a situation, it's kind of all or none. I mean, it wouldn't be, well, this person can get it, this person, I mean, it would, that would cost $2.50, right? That's how Rumpke's currently handling it. So that's one alternative. There is an alternative in here as to going to every other week with recycling, and that does actually save more money than I thought. It's actually, cheaper than what we're paying now slightly. And, this bid is for 5 years. I did just put some numbers on the desk, just for your review, but you can kind of see it's pretty, I think, 7.55% increase for the 5-year period. To me, it makes sense to just look at the 5 years. Why would you look at, years 4 and years 5 when we probably know Rumpke's, even at that point, is going to be the only game in town. So, I don't know if there's anything else you'd like to look at, see, find out. One waste provider just sent a note just basically saying, after reviewing, we've decided not to submit. Nobody else really gave an indication why they decided not to submit a bid.
Why was that nobody wanted to submit?
There's one. There were four picked up the bid, and one submitted. That being Rumpke. Only one waste hauler sent a note back to the Center for Local Government, just basically, thanks for the opportunity, but Best Way Disposal has decided to respectfully not provide a bid. That was all that they gave, so. So, we don't have to decide on this tonight, obviously. Everything's in place until March 1st. March 1st or April 1st, I can't remember. But we have plenty of time. But if there's anything else you guys want to know, or I don't know if there's any other discussion or anything, any clarity that we need.
It would look nicer having everybody have the same garbage cans.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of people do have it, so it would save them money then, really.
Yeah, for some people, and I don't know what, like I said, because I don't, and maybe that's something Rumpke might be able to provide me. I don't, because that's a direct relationship, a direct contract between. So yes, for some people, it would be a savings.
Is that a rental or purchase from them? I know you can do both when you call them, because I've looked into it.
That's not. I think $250 a month is the rental.
Okay, so this would be a rental.
Well, this is there. It would be there for the 5 years of the contract, right? I mean, and then if somebody, so I guess it wouldn't. They're not going to get it after 5 years, right? So yeah, it's at least
Is
go
there
ahead.
any way that we could maybe let the people know that these are considerations and get input from the residents? I don't know how that would be done unless we put the information on the our city website. I mean, if I was a person that, it would kind of be nice for me to know that maybe we're leaning toward a bi-monthly recycle instead of an every week.
Right.
So people aren't,
Yeah, I mean, I guess there's some things that it is what it is, right? We got to have waste hauling, but you're right. Like bi-weekly, is that a good alternative? To me, and we could put it out there. I think the whole, whether we provide the 96 gallon, I mean, I think that's just going to be, that is more along the lines, I think, of, hey, this is something we want to do because we want to provide uniformity, provide,
well, mostly it's an
yeah.
information piece. To
Waste,
say, hey,
yeah.
this is what we're looking at.
Right,
This is maybe what we're going to be, what might be happening next March or April. when
Right.
it comes, just so people kind of know that there's some considerations we're making, and also, we're in this with other communities to get the best rate, too.
Right, we
which
can
is
provide a
kinda
little
nice
bit of
to know.
information, but really, I mean, the question really comes down to bi-weekly versus weekly recycling and a waste toter, really.
Absolutely,
Yeah, those
yeah.
are really the two questions that we have flexibility on, or we have alternatives on,
And
so.
I think what people don't realize either, is when you're in a city like this, and we're bargaining with other cities, when you're in a township, you don't get these rates at all.
Oh, you don't, I mean, that's,
And you pay for every little thing they pick up extra.
yeah. It is unlimited. One of the things that Ray's really excited about is what we expanded into this contract was the route supervisor is going to sign off on the, once the agreement's in place. We're going to have a meeting with them, and really work with them on saying, hey, how does, if somebody does have something, as long as it's not, hazardous waste.
Sure.
We have unlimited garbage, pick it up. You need to communicate with us, we need to communicate with the neighbor, and as it becomes more and more of a problem, but don't just go by and decide, they have 40 bags of leaves out, I'm only picking up 20, no. I mean, you pick them all up, so those are things that we're going to really try to focus in on, but yeah, I thought it was interesting too, that they actually charge more for the smaller waste bin than they do, yeah, because obviously for them, volume is key to this, so,
Yeah.
because Springdale had requested in the bid what it would be for the 18-gallon red bin, and that rate is $4.17 per month versus, that's 10 cents more, so I thought it was interesting.
I'll tell you, there's also, I know, labor issues with that. The trash collectors are more likely to be injured when they use the smaller ones because they have to manually pick them up and dump them.
Yeah.
Whereas the bigger toters have the lift handle on it,
Yeah.
so probably saves them some workers' comp.
Wish you
doing
could
more.
ask them to come later. They've been coming at 4:30 in the morning. It wakes my dogs up. They never used to come that early.
Well, they've been known to come at 3 o'clock in the morning, about a month ago.
What time?
2:30, 3 o'clock.
Yeah, no, it's in the contract that they're not supposed to do that, you
I
need to
know.
let Ray know.
Oh, okay, I didn't know.
Yeah, uh-huh,
It's just recently, it's like, whoa, 4:30.
yeah.
I thought I overslept, I jumped out of bed.
We have a lot, what's harder to control are the dumpsters because, you know, they're not all Rumpke. Those, in uptown, that's more of a problem. We've tried to deal that with Rumpke. But if it's residential waste pickup, just give Ray a call, let them know when it was, and we can address that. I mean, it's hard to tell sometimes whether it's recycling or waste, but
No,
'cause I'm sure you don't really want
recycling always comes later.
Yeah, jump, I guess once you wake up, you can determine and then let him know. That'd be good. Don't call at that point, he won't.
I'm gonna leave a message. Oh, I got your cell.
So, okay, I mean, I can talk to Ray and just see if we can't get some, I don't know if we can put it out on the website. I don't know what's the best way we could try to get some feedback.
Well, Mayor, maybe at some point, like in January, February, something, you can just, when you put out things, just say, hey, just for information's sake, we're working on a contract, and this is, just for information, so people kind of have a clue. Because a lot of people don't
I
realize the
agree.
deal we get as opposed to if you live in a township, plus the fact that we're looking at this and.
Yeah, I mean, I think the big is the recycling, and that's gonna vary. Some people might say, I feel you're never gonna get a uniform answer, but, that one is, because there's definitely some cost savings in that, just based on the bid price. So we'll put something together and try to get some feedback and, just encourage people to reach out to City Hall, us, so. Okay. Any other questions from anybody else on this? Pretty straightforward. Okay. And that's all I have tonight.
Okay, questions for Mr. Coker? He just asked that, so I guess not. Mr. Bauer, you have anything? Okay, didn't want. Okay, we have no second readings on ordinances, but we do have 3 ordinances that were on your desks this evening. Ordinance number 20-1926. An ordinance to transfer balance of Bicentennial Fund to the general fund and close the Bicentennial Fund.
So I think this was set up in maybe 2014. Well, obviously, we no longer need it. There's still a balance in there. It's not really collecting any more funds, so we're just going to move it to the general fund and close it. And that's really all there is to it.
Questions?
Found money.
It makes sense, Scott.
Yeah.
It should have been done years ago, I imagine. Yes.
Okay, well, I was just gonna say, do we really need a 2 reading rule on that? But, okay, never mind, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I just want to do it by the end of the year, so
Yeah.
if 1 or 2, either's fine.
Okay. Any other questions for Mr. Bauer on this? What is your wish, council?
First reading.
First reading, is that all right with everybody?
Okay.
Okay, today is the first, right? Okay, second ordinance. Ordinance number 20-1927. An ordinance amending the 2020 appropriations and declaring an emergency. Now therefore be it ordained by the Council of the City of Mount Healthy, State of Ohio, et cetera, Section 1. Scott, you want to touch on that?
Yeah, so this is the 3rd time we've done this. This is the remainder of the COVID funds. So anyone that sent money back to the county, it went through their formula again, and then they redistributed it. So this is the remainder. We're just formally adding it to the budget like we did the previous 2 times. Yeah, so it's 6,700 is what we got. Didn't anticipate it being a big number. But.
67 we didn't have, though.
Yeah,
Go
take
for it.
Yeah.
Council, questions?
I make a motion to waive the 2 reading rule.
Okay, Ms. Moody has made a motion to waive or suspend the 2 reading rule.
Second.
Mr. George, seconded.
Mrs. Lingo,
Aye.
Mrs. Moody,
Aye.
Mr. Parsons,
Aye.
Ms. Peterson,
Aye.
Mr. Redding,
Aye.
Mrs. Stosa,
Aye.
Mr. George.
Aye.
Okay, by a vote of 7-0, we have waived the 2 reading rule for ordinance 20-1927. Any other questions, council?
What's that?
We got all that cash in the door.
And I'd ask for a motion to adopt.
Make a motion to adopt 2019-27.
Ms. Peterson has made a motion to adopt.
Second?
Ms. Lingo has seconded.
Mrs. Lingo,
Aye.
Mrs. Moody.
Aye.
Mr. Parsons,
Aye.
Ms. Peterson,
Aye.
Mr. Redding,
Aye.
Mrs. Dosa,
Aye.
Mr. George.
Aye.
Okay, by a vote of 7-0, ordinance 20-1927 is adopted. Third ordinance, 20-1928. An ordinance to make appropriations for current expenses and other expenditures of the city of Mount Healthy during the financial year ending December 31st, 2021.
So I believe everyone got the detailed budget from Bill. This is just what will be formally passed and then presented to the county. This is what we give our auditors every year as well. All these numbers kind of roll up into here, so that it's effectively the same information. This is just a summary level, so.
It's not an emergency or anything?
What's
Is
that?
it- Is it an emergency? I mean, do you need this?
We were gonna do two on this, right?
Yeah, we can do
Yeah.
two. Yeah,
Okay.
we just need to pass it next meeting.
Yep. He's fine.
This will allow us to slide into next year and make corrections if we need to. Okay. Questions, council?
First reading?
First reading?
Yep.
Okay.
Sounds good. Thank you.
So just to kind of follow up on that, in that, at our next meeting, we'll have to have the salary ordinances, and everything that's in that budget, with the one exception of what we discussed with the fire chief, is at 2.5%. So that's where those ordinances will be in for next year. And the police, we're still negotiating. And our goal is to get right in at that number too. So, and that's it. So and then the housekeeping we'll have that we'll need to do, and it's, you can't get any earlier as a third meeting in the month. So we're waiting, and hopefully we'll pay some bills. And I mean, with the 15th being the last meeting of the month, we'll have to do our, but the way Scott does it now is a lot better, where it's not, it's more, I guess, higher level that we, get the numbers in so that we make sure we are in line with the audit. So those are just some things to look forward to on the 15th that we'll need. And all those, all those will have to be passed, which is the one reading that night, so.
Question. The new budget has the fire department expanded, of course,
Uh-huh.
and the part-timers are getting increased. Are you talking to the union?
Part-timers, we're gonna, I mean, their contract expires, in, I believe it's April, yeah. So,
April of '21?
yes, so they've already notified us, they've requested some information, we'll be negotiating that in January and February.
Oh, so you're not planning to start those early, you'll just wait till?
Yeah, they're still under contract until.
Yeah.
Yeah, March 31st, so then it'll adjust according,
Okay.
yep.
Any other questions? We'll move on to old business.
Go ahead, Denise.
I just want to know if you confirmed with the law director about council members and the virtual, if it ever came to that.
Oh, there was an ordinance, or an email that went out, sorry, yeah.
Oh, I didn't get it, sorry.
That's all right, yeah, no, I don't know if he
Yeah.
got to see, if he did a pretty good summary of where he thinks we ought to be, so yeah, no. Virtual only, at least through the end of the year, and then we can revisit it, but both on the BZA, Planning Commission, and where we're at now, so just to do. And that this we're okay just having it in, with the number of people that we have here, plus the ICRC is fine.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Thank you, sorry about that.
Yeah, Cindy Sheets had a question here about have the bids gone out for the Hamilton, or for the Adams, Hickman, Elizabeth Street? No, and keep in mind, I mean, this project we found out about this time last year that we got it funded, right? In a typical year, engineering would have started. We would have been trying to focus on the going out to bid and having it awarded once the funding was released July 1st. But, here's another COVID excuse. I mean, obviously that didn't happen. They didn't do any engineering. Waterworks wasn't committing to any kind of projects. Nothing was happening, so we're really kind of far behind on this project. In typical, I mean, not that far behind, but currently they're still working on the engineering. They're still coordinating with Waterworks to get those updates. I don't foresee it going out to bid for another few months. So, but I'm sure that there's going to be some leeway in they like to get these projects within 2 years. I don't see it'll be a problem with that, but it will probably not, start this, then the blacktop plants don't open back up until April. So we're not going to really start seeing a lot of work till then, or later. Good news is it's funded though, right? So we didn't even know, we didn't even know if they were going to fund projects. So we're glad that it did. I'm sure not the answer Cindy wanted, but hey, we're moving it.
Okay, any other old business, council? Yes.
Did you talk to the traffic company? They've started their work?
Yes. I don't know if they started it yet. They were going to get started, they said, after Thanksgiving, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sometime soon?
Yeah, sometime soon, yep. And should have it back to us before the end of the year.
Anybody else, old business? New business, council. Yes,
I
Janet.
just want to remind, it doesn't have to happen today, but today is Giving Tuesday. And we have some nonprofits in town that I know would appreciate any support. Tikkun Farm and the Mount Healthy Alliance has a grid that you can pull up, and they're trying to cover the grid with donations to raise so much money. And also, I know the Sharing Tree, and I think they've been blessed by the Eagles again with a contribution. So just keep in mind that we've got some nonprofits in town, and with the way things are now with COVID, it's really important to kind of look at what we've got in town and the work that some of the people are doing. That's all.
Yep. The Eagles are very generous to the Alliance, to the fire department, and the police department again this year.
It was pretty, yeah.
Is the Alliance grid on their website? or-
It was so hard for me to pull it up.
Yeah.
The police department put it up on Facebook, and I
Okay.
tried to pull it up. When you get to their website, it's hard to find. So it's under, when you look at it, I know Mount Healthy Police put it on Facebook, it's called the Giving Grid.
Okay,
And when you pull it up, you you pick a square, and you can put your name in there if you want to, you don't have to.
Right.
And then you can also put a memory or a memorial to someone, and then it all, gets through a credit card and everything. But they're trying to find a way to cover the whole grid to raise so much money, and it's doing pretty well. I mean,
Good.
there's a lot of squares, and I will tell you, there's a lot of squares with small amounts. It's not,
Yeah.
you can pick your amount that you want. It's pretty easy, but for me, it was trying to find the grid.
yeah, that's what I'm
It's
trying to
not
look
easy
at
to
it
find
here.
the grid.
Okay. Thank you.
And for the sharing tree, you can drop it off here at the city?
Yes. They're doing all just gift cards and are doing it, I think the distribution's on the 7th, right? Is that what we
Yeah,
talked about,
December
James?
7th.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, next week.
yeah.
Okay.
Anything else? New business? I have an item that I'd like to have I have a letter here I'd like to read. It's addressed to the Mount Healthy City Council. Dear City Council, I am writing this letter to let you know I will be resigning my position as council-at-large member of Mount Healthy City Council. My many years as part of the City Council and the city have been great experience and honor. I feel it's time to allow others to have the opportunity to participate and experience the involvement of helping to make the city a great place to live and work. My resignation will be effective December 31st. Sincerely, Judy Peterson. Judy, we will miss you.
Wow.
So she'll be at the next council meeting.
Yes.
One more
One
time, one more turn.
Unless we have an emergency meeting.
Make it a long one.
No.
Judy, how long have you been here? I think I asked you that a couple weeks ago.
On and off, council treasurer, clerk of council since 1976.
Wow,
Wow.
that is a long time.
Thank you.
I think
That's
it's-
older than some of these folks have been alive. You guys, yeah. You youngsters. You're a youngster.
Get it out in 1976.
Okay, any other thing, any other new business, council? None? Ms. Lingo?
I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
Have a motion to adjourn by Ms. Lingo. Do I have a second? Mr. George, seconded. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. Meeting is adjourned.